Happy Sunday. Welcome back to another video. I want to talk about how I surfed towards a better relationship with food and how surfing impacted my IBS and my gut health in a very positive way. I'm Vivian. I'm a chronically bloated American traveler who's been on the road for the last 6 years. I'm basically experimenting with my life to see how I change if I stay outside of the US for 6 consecutive years. I have a bachelor's of science in nutrition, and I'm a relentless reader on eating, on food, on nutrition, because I disagreed with what I was taught. And I have tried everything under the sun to figure out my gut health and to figure out how to have a simple, uncomplicated, positive relationship with food. I went from always stressing about food, what to eat, how to socialize, and always thinking about and over planning what I would eat to not even thinking about it anymore. Lately, when I meet up with friends, I ask that person to show me where they want to eat or a place that they love. And I just found that I became so much more flexible. And, I don't even care what I'm going to order when I go anywhere unknown. That's just made my life a lot more enjoyable. These days, I'm 28 years old and I can finally just adapt to whatever is on the menu in front of me and not stress about having trace amounts or small amounts of foods that I can't have. So the first thing that impacted my relationship with food from surfing was how it improved my IBS symptoms. For as long as I can remember, I've been bloated by the end of the day after eating healthy foods. So that was me as a kid. And then as an adult, I became constipated. So I was chronically constipated if I didn't eat exactly for 10 years. As I started surfing more, I noticed that my bloating would just go way down overall and that I could tolerate a lot more foods. This is really important to me because having this bloating when you're trying so hard to exercise, to do everything right, to eat well, is like your reality is turned upside down. And I think when you see how pregnant you look at the end of the day and you keep trying and it's not working, it can start to be like the root of an eating disorder because nothing works. I believe over time I developed leaky gut, and that is where your intestines become more permeable. Instead of having a sealed lining, more food is coming through into your bloodstream, and that causes a whole body inflammatory response. In Dr. Michael Ruscio's book, Healthy Gut, Healthy You, he can't emphasize enough how important it is to reduce stress factors when you're trying to heal a leaky gut, especially naturally. A big proven way to release stress is to spend time in nature. He also repeatedly references how moderate, not excessive, exercise is anti-inflammatory. And let's not forget the undeniable link with feeling the sunshine directly on your skin and how that's just a massive mood lifter. If you spend time in sunshine or you go an extended period of time without sunshine, there's an undeniable difference. The second way that surfing improved my relationship with food is that it just caused a mindset shift. It was like suddenly the center of my thoughts moved from food to surfing. I noticed I started arranging my schedule around a surf session instead of around food, how to buy the ingredients, how to cook it, and what exactly to make and when to eat it. Lately, I would choose a day of good waves and eating whatever in between all the surfing over a perfectly thought out, obsessively organized meal with certain little food combos where every bite has to be the perfect bite. I would choose that any day. The other way that surfing shifted my mindset is that it was a passion that I couldn't fight. It was just in my face. I didn't even try to make it a passion, but it became a passion instead of a dread. According to a Fortune business study, the global health and fitness club market, basically the gym industry, was worth $104 billion in 2022 and is set to double by 2030. The gym that we dread so much, I mean, think about anyone you talk to about the gym, anyone who has a gym membership, most of them are saying like, oh, I should be going, but I haven't gone. And I really need to go today though, or tomorrow I swear I'm gonna go. The business has got them with the membership. They're really self-critical. According to the Health and Fitness Association, 50% of all new gym memberships quit within the first 6 months. 18% of people with a gym membership never even go, according to Statistica. I spent years of my life as an avid hiker and runner, but surfing was different. It hit something in me that allowed me to finally just enjoy being out there without being in my head. The vast majority of the time, it feels really cathartic because if I miss a wave, I'm like screaming. Using the full volume of your voice is really cathartic. And when I'm hiking and when I'm running, that's not the case. There's not crashing waves of the ocean to drown out all your sound. You would be freaking out people and they'd be like, is someone getting murdered in the woods? That doesn't mean sometimes I don't get in my head when I'm out in the water surfing. I definitely do. If something outside of the water is not okay, then I'm not going to enjoy being in the water because I'll probably be thinking about how I should be going to do something or fix something. Most of the time, a session involves plenty of screaming, splashing, sun, and salt. It's really hard to let your thoughts take over when you see a school of fish jumping out of the water or little shrimps start splashing on your surfboard or something like that. As I self-studied surfing more and more using YouTube actually, I noticed I could just be really independent, and if I just invested myself into it and got my own boards, practice drills at home, I could teach myself how to just get on waves. Once I was able to consistently get myself into waves because I knew what was happening now, I understood the fundamentals and physics of surfing. I was getting those dopamine hits of catching the wave, and then I realized I'd do anything to be able to catch more waves and do it better. That means eating healthy. For the first time in my life, like, no more excuses. You have to listen to what your body wants and you have to do what works for you. I stopped making so many bliss balls and smoothie bowls, which are full of fructose, which kind of impacts IBS and SIBO. I stopped getting cappuccinos with real milk just for pretty latte art because real milk impacts my skin and gut so negatively. Like, I get so pregnant looking from milk, but I would still order it just for having the prettiness of it. And I stopped that. I became so much better at just getting a plant milk. And it's to the point now where if I ever drink anything like a really nice cappuccino specialty coffee with real milk with like perfect foam and art, it tastes terrible. Something that really helped me around this time as well to avoid some of my trigger foods is the 80-20 rule. Every time I ever tried to eliminate these major food groups for the sake of gut health, it really impacted me mentally because I was trying to be 100% about it. And once I switched to 80% and 20%, basically I can eat anything I want. Last night I had a burger and fries and wine. Once I told myself I can eat anything I want, just the amount of that, the quantity of that is going to change. A huge weight lifted off my chest. And so that combined with surfing just made me feel so much better about eating everything. Surfing and eating better created a positive feedback loop. Surfing more made me more sensitive to what foods worked for me and what foods I was more sensitive to. I found myself craving white rice all the time, especially after a long day out in the wave. I just wanted to come home to one of those classic Vietnamese meals where you get steamed broken white rice with side dishes full of vegetables, tofu, and meat. And what do you know? White rice is known to be well tolerated by fussy guts. The point of this video isn't to say everyone has to go be a surfer. I mean, these days, I feel like the least cool thing you can do is go be a surfer. Even in the 70s, the surf movies were already saying like, now everyone surfs. No one doesn't surf. It's super crowded. So I'm not saying go be a surfer. I'm saying find what works for you. I promise that everyone out there has one or two physical activities that they are passionate about. These activities are mindset changing. You just have to go and find yours, and you owe it to yourself and your health to never stop looking until you find them. Finally, surfing was very healing with my relationship with food because I developed this spiritual intimacy with the ocean. What is it about being in the water that makes us feel something so deep and true and happy when you just see it? When I'm hiking, it doesn't matter how high up I am in elevation or how cold water is. When I see beautiful blue water, like a body of water just sitting there, I cannot resist the temptation to go and just jump in it. Even during little rainstorms, when all the waves were rained out, I would just be out there hugging my board in the rain, loving it, loving the water coming from above and all around me, just feeling like the ocean is always going to be there for me and everything's really going to be okay. A well-known surfer that I'm fond of is Jerry Lopez. I was watching an older movie that he was in called Five Summer Stories, and they are showing an edit of Jerry working his magic on the pipeline wave in Hawaii. And during the edit, they play a voiceover of another fellow surfer who says Jerry's relationship with the ocean is definitely sexual. What even is the point of life if you're not outdoors? Being outdoors helps us sleep at night. It helps us sleep deeply. Our addictions to our phones and Instagram is all pollution in our life. Being in nature, being in the ocean is like what we were made for, and it's a way to counter all that pollution and detox from everything toxic about modern life. Again, I believe that everyone has their favorite sports or physical activities out there. It's not surfing for most people, but we all owe it to ourselves to never stop trying and never stop looking for those few activities that become such a passion in our lives and such a joy in our lives. Once you feel healthy in your life, everything else you need to do, work, project, start a business, learn something, becomes so much more doable and so much more joyful. I believe in myself and I believe in you so much. Don't forget how long changes actually take to really be implemented into your life and to not be too critical on yourself along the way. Having negative self-talk and self-criticism is not productive. Remember where you were 5 years ago. Don't forget that all bodies are resilient. And most of all, remember that you are the one who gets to write your own story. That's it for today. My life's work is on my blog, so you can see my thoughts and experiences from 9 years of solo traveling around the world, starting with Kenya in 2015 till now in Vietnam. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like, give me a subscribe, or send it to the one person that you think would most benefit from hearing these words. And in the comments down below, I would love to hear what's held you back with physical activity, a better relationship with food, and having good gut health. And of course, what topics you'd like me to research or discuss in future videos. Have a good weekend. Don't forget to be kind to yourself. Bye bye.